Hello everyone and welcome back to our 6th episode of Total War Warhammer. So we're gonna go ahead and end our turn and then see what happened. So after the recent battles, we are having our two armies now. We've got a pretty high maintenance cost. We're not making very much income from turn to turn from our actual income itself. So we need to make sure that if we have two armies that are expensive like this, we need to be able to utilize them. Legendary Lord Manfried Von Carstein can be now recruited, so I'm going to want to get him to start leading my secondary army, offensive army most likely.
The Von Carstein.
So I don't have enough income now to recruit that hero yet, but I think I can change that. I'm going to continue heading towards Eschen here.
Massacre them.
And we'll be able to get to that town next turn and recapture it again.
Darkness comes.
So I'm going to have this army begin to attack so that it's not just sitting there being wasted.
You dare.
I'm trying to decide if I want to have this second army press out and begin attacking. I just am hesitant to be attacked on two fronts because I'm heading north with one hero and a different direction with another. I really think that I should either consolidate these two offensive armies together so they can reinforce each other, or split the army apart into two separate forces and use those two armies to protect my domestic interest, I guess you could say. I'll have to consider that. I'm going to just leave him for another turn. Since I'm still having a positive income, even if I just leave him where it is, we're still making a little bit of money. Alright, so to improve this Balefire Brazier up to a Balefire Hearth, which will allow us to spread corruption to nearby provinces, we need to upgrade our main city to level 3. In order to do that, we need 2 population points, which at our current growth will be 5 turns from now. So let's see here. We have the option of upgrading our main capital, Drakenhof, to a shady township, which will give us another construction slot and further improvements to our buildings, income, growth. So we're going to go ahead and do that. That's going to be a significant amount of money and 4 turns worth of waiting. Now in Western Sylvania, we can build as well. I think, well, that's a dark lair. +3 for all units recruited from the forest building train. So Swordshofen being down here on the corner would probably make sense to have some force of garrison there, at least in the future. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and just save the remaining money that I have currently. And I'm going to go ahead and end this turn. Okay, so this enemy army down here, well, I should say this neutral army here, is enough of a hindrance that I'm going to move my own army closer.
Darkness comes.
Alright, so now we're within, at least within reinforcement range if necessary.
Champion of the dark.
Seems like a good opportunity for us to attack Essen.
Bring them death. No mercy.
So it looks like the rebel forces were able to build up while we were waiting. They now have 3 artillery. But that could be a good thing or a bad thing. I think it's going to turn into our favor because of our powerful flying units. We're going to be able to get into those artilleries very quickly before they have an opportunity to really devastate us. At least that's... I'm going to go ahead and just start the deployment. 14 out of 30 is not too bad. And now to make groups. We're going to have a group of skeletons with shields, a group of skeletons with spears, a group of high damage but slightly weaker crypt ghouls. Our flying units are going to be in a group. Our knights will be in a group. And our spellcaster will be in a group as well. Alright, we're going to use our vanguard deployment here to the best effect possible. Because the enemy has so much artillery, I want to approach as quickly as possible. So I'm going to put my flyers and my cavalry in the tree area over here.
Blood Knights.
Life is a phase.
Also putting my spellcaster over there. He's got some protection, and I don't think he's going to get attacked once the battle actually begins. Hero in front, line of skeletons behind, another line of spear skeletons on the side, crypt ghouls a little further behind. Alright, the main goal here is to get my skeletons and hero engaged with their units so that they stop maneuvering and just begin fighting, and then get my flying units into their artillery as quickly as possible. They also have several units of mounted ranged cavalry, pistoliers I believe, that can shoot at us, but if we can take out the artillery, then our flying units will be able to focus on taking them out. So it's more about ferocity and destroying the enemy quickly at this point. Flyers are coming in, knights are coming in. One of our units of skeletons just got devastated, so we're going to begin casting healing spells on that unit of skeletons. Alright, so now our units are engaging. Our hero leads the way. He's actually taking pretty severe damage from the units with armor penetrating abilities. Alright, as we close in, the enemy turns and flees. And here we go. So now the enemy is getting surrounded and attacked from all directions. I have my fast-moving flying units attacking their flying units. And now we're just chasing them as they try to run away. Interestingly enough, our crypt ghouls are actually relatively fast. And our flyers are at least as quick as theirs are. We did suffer some pretty heavy losses in our skeletons with their opening barrage. I mean, they killed quite a few of them right away with the artillery. Almost all the kills came from that opening artillery. But once we got in close and our flyers were in there, it was over very quickly. Almost instantly, they broke and ran when we surrounded. But you can see that the power the Empire has with its powerful gun troops and archer. Alright, we're gonna loot, occupy.
It is done.
We also got a new item, a power stone. It greatly improves the power regeneration rate of the hero that wears it, and also increases the power reserves. So he does have spells, so we can use this ability for him right now, but eventually we're going to get a much more powerful actual spellcaster hero. He just got a follower that will reduce the raised dead cost of his abilities by 7%. It's not too bad, but we're not using raised dead that often, so whatever.
Devourer of light.
So it looks like there's two neutral armies that are actually fighting each other right here in the middle. That's pretty interesting, because both of them are now into my territory. And so... So we're going to spend our skill point here and see what we've got. We can continue to increase our aura size. I think that improving the aura size is probably the most effective to make sure that that leadership bonus hits as many as I can. Okay, we're kind of in an interesting place now. I have dwarves approaching from the south. Well, dwarves within view of the south, I should see. So I need to be wary of that. But then I have human Empire troops here, which, to be quite honest, are usually openly warring with us. And I need to continue heading north towards Beshafen, neither of these two Empire armies here on the left, neither of them is part of this Empire that I'm currently attacking. So, it might be worth it to continue heading in that direction.
I am invincible.
I think that's what I'm going to do. Well, I have no more movement this turn, but... Alright, now I'm going to bring this hero up towards this newly captured province. And I'm going to use him to increase public order. And I'm going to do that to just kind of maintain control of this while I build up some vampiric corruption that needs to start spreading. Once Castle Drakenhof, my main castle, finishes upgrading in 3 turns, I'll be able to build and then upgrade a hearth that will spread the corruption to all these areas around, including the dwarf areas. So you may think that that would make them, you know, somewhat hostile to us, which might be true, but on the other hand, it shouldn't be too much trouble. So I'm going to go ahead and switch armies here. I'm going to, well, maybe I'll split them. I'm going to split the armies. I'm going to have these two armies combine and then split them. That way I'm not running constantly back and forth, back and forth. I can have a decent force from both. Alright, so that hero will be a defensive unit I can use to just simply garrison places. And this other hero I will do the same, except I'm going to keep him on the eastern side. And I think with that, it's time to end our turn. So both armies broke away and disengaged. I guess they didn't want to fight me. They wanted to kill the rebels, but I got there first, so that was good timing, I guess. So, brutal business. plus 20 to weapon damage for all armies of all factions in the game for 10 turns. That actually could be in our favor since we have a strategy involving aggression and attacking quickly. It could be in our favor to do that. Alright, so we're going to continue heading north towards Beshefen.
The Von Carstein.
Now that Essen is here, we're losing huge. We're going to stop taxing the province to slow down the rate at which public order is dropping. It's going to be 2 turns to get the Balefire Brazier, and 1 turn to get the Corrupted Village. So in 3 turns we could start spreading Vampiric Corruption ourselves. And it's already got 10% and it's trending towards 50%. I think we could possibly do this. We have a lack of corruption causing a negative 13 to public order, but provincial stability is dropping. It's becoming more stable by the minute. So I'm going to go ahead and upgrade this building, and it's going to take 3 turns to do that. And then when that finishes, we should have enough money to build a Balefire Brazier, which will increase the corruption by 3. And by then we should also be able to upgrade or start building the same structure here in Eastern Sylvania, which will spread corruption as well. And so those double corruptions will make this Essen hopefully a focal point for us to start spreading the corruption even further.
The world will
So I'm not sure here about Beshefen. It looks like it's not doing so hot. Well, I take it back. Current public order is 100%. So, I'm just gonna keep heading that direction, and when I get there, if I need to, I can retreat and fall back. Alright, with no money left to spend, I'm gonna go ahead and end this turn as well. So both of my heroes for my 2 separate armies went back to their respective holding areas, and the hero, the White Lord or White King, is now up top. And so we're going to put him in this territory on the very edge, so he's still within it, and we're going to deploy him. Deploying him gives the province a 5 bonus to its public order, which will help slow down the rate at which this place wants to go crazy and attack us. So it's down to negative 8 from the lack of corruption, but corruption is rising at 6% per turn, trending towards a 77% total. So this is going to be a huge, rampantly corrupt place that we're going to really want to make sure we focus on. Rosalind von Drock, she's done a great job of continuing to increase the growth of this area. Pretty significant, actually. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually move her over here by this area of water. So if I do that, I can easily move her over this border between Eastern and Western Sylvania, depending on where I believe that growth will be most necessary. So I think right now it makes more sense to simply keep her where on this side for now. So I will. But she's gotten a new skill point, so we can give her some new abilities. So I'm going to give her a skill called Expansionist. When you pray, the growth is increased by additional 30 if you deploy her in a province that you already own. Wow. Okay, so next turn she's going to go ahead and start doing her thing. I have to be honest, I haven't really used these smaller lords as opposed to the normal heroes very often, but I'm really finding that the effects that they can give you are actually tremendously effective, so I'm really glad that I am using them. I do have a little bit of money, about $800 worth, which is enough for me to increase some of the things going on here in Western Sylvania. Now I'm going to need to get this improved, because Eastern Sylvania has kind of been our bulwark, like the center of our power, And I'd like to bring Western Sylvania up closer to that if possible. And so, in order to do that, we're probably going to want to increase the growth of our town. So I'm going to buy a charnel pit. It's going to take 2 turns, but it's going to increase the growth even further. And let's see.
Yes.
So now with our hero here, we can start traveling towards the enemy city.
Into
Now we're trespassing on enemy territory, so we're going to technically be in a relatively bad place. Let's see, we're not currently at war with him,
Manfried Von Carstein.
but I'd like to be. So I'm going to declare war on him.
Bring them death!
And we'll see what happens after this first turn. I may have to fall back.
King of Darkness.
I want to control this province, if possible. It's basically the northernmost tip of my empire, and look at how far up it is. If I can capture that and start spreading the vampiric corruption from Essen over to Beschefen, and and then bring an army up here to defend this northern area,
Massacre them.
yeah, it says I have absolutely 0 chance. They only have a level 3 hero here, but the combination of artillery plus the huge amount of units, it's just going to be a slaughter if I have to go in there. So I'm going to go ahead and break the siege. And I can't just fight him through trying to starve him out, because my units are suffering attrition every single turn, and I'll have nothing left by the time he gets low, and he'll simply come out and push me away anyway. So I'm going to switch over to a marching stance to get some distance, and I'm going to run away.
Cloaked in darkness.
I'm going to fall back to Essen, and I'm going to hold on to Essen, and I'm going to use it to begin spreading vampiric corruption and work my way towards Beschefen. So with that strategy in mind, I'm going to move my secondary army, the offensive one, 2 turns. The first turn is going to get him over here to Eastern Sylvania, which is where I can hire units.
You dare.
Alright, we're going to trade these units back, because now we have a offensive mission for him. So I'm going to give him almost everything that's not a zombie. Because to be quite honest, the zombies, they're just so slow.
Find me charnel pits.
Alright, so I move her, or I deploy her. So she's now increasing the growth in the local province by 50. Good gosh. Okay.
Darkness.
This guy leveled up. So, let's see. He's got the Aura of Supremacy. Oh, he's got increased income, increased income. So, let's see here. I guess we'll just keep going with his aura. And we'll go with +3 for zombies, skeletons, and crypt ghouls in the army. And we're going to have him go to Essen. And that'll be his place to sit and just earn income. This other army, on the other hand, we are going to switch him over to a marching stance to get some more distance out of him. And we're going to raise some dead, because it's going to give us some more soldiers right now. We only have enough money for one guy. Okay. So how is Essen doing? So Essen is 1 turn away from being upgraded, Its public order is -42, but it's still in the negative. Slowly. It's at 23%, still trending towards 78. So it's going to be kind of up in the air whether we can keep that going or not. Our Necromancer is leveled up in our main army. So let's see, what other spell can we get?